Today, we're going to work on the Earthly Pleasures bundle by TurboDork. Not So Average Builder is brought to you by these great retailers. There'll be promo codes in the description below. Hey guys, Tom here, and this is Not So Average Builder. And we're going to be applying Molten Mantle, Forced Flux, Motherlode, and Shifting Sands. Now, if you've watched my previous videos, you will understand why these two miniatures are based in white, where the other 6 are based in black. And that is because TurboDork is awesome, and they put the instructions right on the side of the bottle. Motherlode is like a pearlescent clear, so it needs to be applied over a white undercoat. There is some experiments we'll be doing with Motherlode later on, not in this video, but in another series. But that is why this one is base coated in the white. So I think we're going to start from left to right, do Molten Mantle. Now I don't have any bigger miniatures because these aren't meant to be applied over top of each other, so the video will be a little different. I will probably do a couple of snippets of each of these being painted, nothing major, nothing long. Try and keep the video short, and then we'll talk about what the colors look like, how well they lay down, and all that. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So just like my first video, my camera decided to eat the footage of me airbrushing this. I'm not really sure why. It's pretty much straightforward. Same principle. I do have a video, and I will drop a card right there that will show you how I spray TurboDork paints. Although it's a downside that it didn't show off. Again, I don't really know why. I can still talk about it. So the first one up is Molten Mantle. And from the label, you get like a purple to orange. And man, does it do it. So you can see that orange just popping out everywhere. Every subtle little detail. Now if we lower the light, you get all these little oranges. And without light, it almost looks orange. As soon as you add some light to it, it begins to take on this purple facade. These little Dark Souls miniatures, they do really well with paint. Tons of fine little details on there that will really help, especially these paints, pop out their little color shift abilities. But man, is this a solid color or what? Next up, Forced Flux. And this one does a light green to a very faint purple. Now on this one, I don't know whether I have any luck with greens or not, especially when it comes to TurboDork greens. If you remember, I used Malum Malice on spoons, and it just didn't seem to have the desired effect that it did, or it was supposed to. And this one seems to be the same way. Like, it goes a little lighter and goes a little darker in places, but I don't know. I'm not too crazy about that color. Even on this thing, it helps out a little bit more with all the fur and whatnot, but I don't know. It doesn't seem to shift. So I'm going to say that one's a bum. I'm going to chalk it up to my fault. Maybe I didn't shake it up enough. Disappointment number 2, and it'll be the third one we review, is Motherlode. Again, I don't think that I shook this one up enough. It doesn't help that the, I don't know whether the white I used wasn't good enough, but you can see little flakes everywhere. And although those do good, it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't pop. Maybe it didn't do enough coats or something. Same thing with this. I apologize greatly for having to drop the balance down, but in order to see these, it needed to be done. It doesn't have so much of a pearlescent effect like I thought it was going to. There's not much of one at all. And again, it could be because I didn't shake it up enough. I don't know. I want to give that one another shot. These two, possibly another shot. The fourth one was Shifting Sands. Now this one was a cool one. I'll show you this figure first. It almost gives it like a tarnished brass look. But you can see all those little reds and dark oranges because it's a shift from almost a dark brown to a light brown. And it does it, but it does it so smoothly that it just looks like a glimmer instead of the dark brown to light brown. Now I did find a perfect use for that color. If you have blight haulers or any other Nurgle, because they've got like that worn metal look, that is a perfect color for that. And I think it would look cool to have a transitional metallic on your kits. So that is something to definitely keep in mind. I don't know what I want to do, if I want to paint this miniature, if I just want to send it back. But this is a really cool color. These all together are a solid set. Now you don't have to buy these. You don't have to buy any of the TurboDork paints together. You can buy them separately. But if you want to buy the bundle, this one's called the Earthly Pleasures bundle. And my favorite ones are Shifting Sands and Molten Mantle. My more so favorite is Molten Mantle because of that orange to purple transitions that you see. And I really hope that they're coming across on camera because they do so well in person. Absolutely amazing in person. But that is all I have, guys. I know this is kind of a shorter video and I was hoping it would be a little bit longer, but with my camera deciding to eat the footage, that kind of bums that out. But don't fear, because next week we should have a bunch more TurboDork paints to review. And I just so happen to still have a bunch more miniatures just sitting over here waiting for some paint. So that works out in mine and your favor. Because now I can start to show more of their line and you can want them more. So remember, guys, you can go to turbodork.com, find whatever paints you want, put them in the cart, and if you use code NSAB10 at checkout, you get 10% off your order. I mean, that's a win-win for everybody. I mean, I don't get anything from it except for Greg saying thank you, but Greg sells some paint. You get some awesome paint that you can put on your miniatures, your gunpla, anything. And don't think that these are just for miniatures. They are not. You can use these on anything. They're acrylic paints. They thin really well or flow really well with airbrush flow improver. They hand brush really well. You can pretty much do anything you want to with these paints, just like you could any Vallejo paints or any other brand. So because these are like a specialty paint, doesn't mean that they have that specialty mentality to where you can't use them for anything. You can use them on anything. But that's all I got, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye.